Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, of course, whenever it is that you lovely, lovely people have tuned in to watch this. So, this is quite an interesting little debate that comes up every so often, and it's reared its head again recently about. Mainly, it seems to focus on £5 coins because we seem to get quite a few of these into circulation, and certainly of late we seem to be getting quite an influx of £5 coins coming in, and that is, are they legal tender? And it's quite a tricky area to actually cover, but I'll try to make it as simple as I can here for you today. Now, I believe the highest denomination coin that we now get in the UK is a £5, although the highest into circulation is a £2. However, we have in the past had £20 coins, £50 coins and £100 coins, and there seems to be a lot of confusion about whether you can spend these coins or whether they are just purely commemorative. And I know that at one point the Royal Mint were offering you a free refund if you wanted to send the coins back to them to basically get your money back. So I know that was something that happened at one point, but it's actual legal tender, and that's what we want to focus on today. So, what coins are legal tender in the UK? The term legal tender is very loosely used, and I'll just go through a few examples here. Changing page. So, English banknotes aren't legal tender in Scotland. Likewise, Scottish notes aren't legal tender in England or in Scotland. Debit cards, cheques and contact lists aren't legal tender anywhere. So, what does it mean? You might have heard someone in the shop say, but it's legal tender. Most people think it means that the shop has to accept the payment that you are offering, whether it's a £20 coin, £50 coin, etc. But that isn't the case. A shop owner can choose what payment they accept. If you want to pay for a packet of gum, for example, with a £50 note, they are perfectly legal and entitled to turn you down. Likewise, for all other banknotes, it's a matter of discretion. If your local corner shop decided to only accept payments in Pokemon cards, that would be within their right too, but they'll probably lose customers, obviously. Legal tender has a narrow technical meaning which has no use in everyday life. It means that if you offer to fully pay off a debt to someone in legal tender, they can't then sue you for failing to repay. So what that means, a lot of people will interpret it to, and I've heard it said many times, that you can only use them to pay off a court fine. That's not strictly true. You can use £5, £20, £50 and £100 to pay off any debt that you owe. As it says there, you cannot then be sued for failing to repay it because you have offered a repayment in legal tender terms. What you cannot, however, do, or in some cases you can, it depends on the shopkeeper's individual. is to walk into a shop and buy a packet of gum using a £50 coin. A perfect example. I was in a pub last year, just happened to have a few coins with me, and one of them was the Winston Churchill £20 coin, and I showed it to the landlord, and the landlord, not that I did, but the landlord was more than happy for me to buy a round of drinks using the £20 coin, because it is at their discretion. Now, where this becomes quite an interesting part is legal tender. Okay, so legal tender, what it does basically is it tells you what you can pay and how much you can pay for. So as an example, you can see here the 1 and 2p coins, you can pay up to 20 pence in total using 1 and 2p coins. That's legal tender. After that, it becomes at their discretion. So if you wanted to pay for something costing 25 pence in 1 and 2p coins, the shopkeeper is perfectly within their right to say, no, I don't want to accept that. 5 and 10p's, it is £5. 20, 25 and 50p, up to £10. And any others is any amount. So it's actually quite crazy when you think about it. If you've got 50 pence coins, you can buy something in a shop to the value of £10. If you've got a £1 coin, you can buy £1 million house using £1 million £1 coins. Not that you would, obviously, but it's just quite interesting that legally 50p is only up to the value of £10. Any value over £10, or any coin, sorry, over 50p, there is no limit on the value. And you might also notice there's 25p in there, and that just tells you here. You may be surprised to see them mention a 25p coin here. This is the crown, and they do still exist, albeit mainly in collectors. Confusingly, the £5 coin is also referred to as a crown, despite its greater value. So you can still spend the crown, 25p. So to narrow it down into simplistic terms, any denomination coin is legal tender. It is down to a shop owner or wherever you're attempting to use that coin as to whether they accept it or not. Now, still don't believe me? Okay, I'll point you across to a very interesting chap on YouTube. Now you'll see here Julian Chamberlain, and you'll notice the names of his videos. Railway staff obliged to accept £50 coin in payments. £100 coins in the Shell garage, and notice the dates on these. This is 6 days ago. Illegal diesel is the least at Sainsbury's Worries. £100 coin at BP station. I watched this one yesterday, the £100 coins at the Shell garage, and interestingly enough, what it is, and he does, I think it's £240 worth of diesel he spends or purchases, and it's not just for one fill up, it's several jerry cans, etc. as well. And he goes into the shop, they are asking for the bill, you know, £240, and he pays it in £100 coins and £50 coins, I believe it is, so £100 and two £20 coins. And originally they deny it service. Phone their area manager says no, we can't accept it, and he says to them, They offer him the money back, and he says, no, I don't want the money back. I've paid a bill, a debt that I owed to you. I had your diesel and I have to pay for it. I am offering you this monetary value in payment for that. And interestingly enough, they accepted it. So, and listening to what he's saying in the video. So as an example, or to put it in more expandable or explainable terms, if you were to go and do your Tesco's shopping and it comes to £240, I use the figure because it's the same as this chap uses, and you wanted to pay for that in the same value that he uses, £100 coins and £20 coins, well, you're highly unlikely to do it. It's highly unlikely that they will accept that, as they are perfectly within their rights to refuse to accept that. The difference being is when it is a debt. So although he is paying for it immediately, he has already taken the product, i.e. the diesel. That then becomes a debt, and he's offered to pay, or he has paid that debt using the legal tender. Now this is from the Bank of England website, so you know it's easy to go and see for it yourself. And as it says here, it has a very technical meaning which has no use in everyday life. It means that if you offer to fully pay off a debt to someone in legal tender, they then cannot sue you for failing to repay. So the garage could have refused to take that payment. He could have then driven off because he has offered to pay it in full, and there is nothing legally that the garage would have been able to do about it. So it's really quite an interesting, it's quite a tricky area, but it's quite an interesting area. And as I say, do go over and have a look at his video, Julian Chamberlain, and he's got a couple of videos on there, but it's well worth going over to watch. £100 coins at the Shell garage is spelled, loaded 6 days ago. Very, very interesting. So thank you guys for watching. Please hit the thumbs up, or whatever you want to do. If you're not already, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and please do come back and watch some more. Thank you guys, and I'll see you again real soon.